Hey, this is Joseph Smarr from Plaxo, and just finishing up a whirlwind weekend here at Social Graph Food Camp. Not a lot of sleep, and what it was sort of on the floor, but it's just been fabulous because we have this just incredibly dense number of really interesting, smart people here from Google and Facebook and here at Plaxo and all these other smaller companies and people in research, and it's everybody's very passionate to talk about what's going on in the social graph, and there've been a lot of very lively, it's sort of all unconference. There's been very lively discussions. We had Brad Fitzpatrick talking about the new social graph API that Google is coming out, and sort of this concept of the public data that it's crawling that was already in the web crawl, but by actually making it available as an API, there's all of a sudden all these interesting use cases. And then what does that have to do with other sites getting involved? And is this something that users are going to really understand right away? And how quickly is this going to sort of change the game? So that seemed like that was something a lot of people really wanted to talk about, especially since it just came out on Friday, right? So like how fast this industry moves. And then we were in a very lively session about friends list portability yesterday, and figuring out ways to empower users to make the tools that they use all work together, and at the same time figure out what are the boundaries about privacy and sort of what are the social versus technical contracts about, if I give you my information on this site, can you move it over to another site, and if it's private versus if it's public, and so forth. And so, it's interesting how even with this group of people who, think about this stuff on a daily basis and are obviously very passionate in general about moving the space forward, you still see a sort of a wide range of opinions and sort of reactions about privacy and how automatic things should be. And so, even within this group, it's interesting that there's not, much strong, I mean, people sort of agree on the big picture, but then in terms of the details and the timing, there's still a lot of room for healthy debate, so that was sort of cool. Even this morning, and then we started talking all about trying to actually use all this graph data that we're generating, all these big companies, to do real social science research. So they got people doing that at Facebook and at Yahoo and in other places where it's really interesting, because it's not only a technical challenge to take these enormous data sets and try to do things with them, but there's also there's sort of how do you use that to provide useful features for the networks themselves, like figuring out who your real friends are and so forth. But it's also real social science questions about is this a new substitute form of real social ties that are meaningful to people and so forth. So it's really been spanning the map. And then it's what we're doing at Plaxo. I'm glad people here really got excited about is we're really trying to help the friends list portability stuff sort of be the data that's not public, that's not in Brad's API, of all that you're generating all these different sites. How do you actually take it and sort of help you move it around between the different sites, so you don't have to constantly recreate your friends lists and your profiles and everything from scratch, and you can actually find who that's creating information on all these sites. And that seems like something that people are really now with OpenID and with OAuth and some of these other technologies that provide the building blocks. People feel like we're really at this point where we can go do this today, and we don't have to sort of wait around. And there's all these amazing new companies that are figuring out ways to get your social graph data out of your email, out of your cell phone, and these things that Tim O'Reilly's talking about, like where is my real data? Go find that. Don't make me re-enter it. And so the combination of the two, thinks that this is going to be a very interesting year for the social web. So very excited to be here and very excited about what's coming.